This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by Lincoln Savings Bank. At home in Iowa, at work for you.
When you hear the names Michael Brown, George Floyd, and now Jacob Blake, what thoughts come to mind? Do you think of a loved one the same age? Do you think of someone you know from the same state, maybe the same neighborhood? As social injustice and police brutality continue to happen in America, we take a look at how it impacts the University of Northern Iowa Athletic Department, from athletes to coaches and administrators. We also look at what actions are taking place to move forward together to stand up against racism and social injustice.
In May, racial injustice struck the Minneapolis area with the murder of George Floyd by a police officer. It was another incident that happened in a community several UNI student athletes call home.
You recognize the buildings and the streets and the backgrounds as being areas that you grew up on, or you're familiar with, or you've driven down, or you were there just a couple of weeks ago. It just hits you differently. We have to be in a position to be able to support those students and understand that for them, the reality of this is going to sink in a way that's different than the rest of us.
At UNI, the entire department offered to listen years ago when it formed a minority student-athlete leadership team. It began as social events, but has always followed action items that come from the students on the team.
This was really born, 4 or 5 years ago when we just started doing listening sessions. I think that's really where it started. Even before the leadership team was formed, we began doing listening sessions with student athletes of color either once or twice a year. I think the biggest thing for us is trying to do things before they become necessary, not because we know that they're going to become necessary, but because we genuinely care about the students, their perspective, and are trying to listen to them even before the world turned upside down.
Many of UNI's teams are looking at ways they can foster change. They have been having discussions together. Some are putting together a plan so that their actions can continue beyond here and now. The department as a whole is offering a 21-day challenge to carry the conversation across team lines.
Many of them are trying to understand and educate themselves more so they can be allies for other students. So I respect and greatly admire the way that they continue to pull together and try to be even better versions of themselves as young people. And we honestly need that.
Just as the students aspire to be better versions of themselves, so do UNI coaches, staff, and administrators. Racial injustice is a difficult topic that can only be better through understanding, listening, and love for our neighbors.
The issue of racism has been the most divisive issue I think that our country has ever faced, and we still continue to face it. And so we need more people who have done the work, that really understand what it's all about, and then are willing to put things into place to make us a better society. But I admire those who are willing to stand up, speak out, and continue to push our country forward out of the love of wanting to see our country be everything that we say we aspire to be.
There's a long way to go as a society as a whole, but we all need to take our own steps forward to educate and improve ourselves to create a better world for all. When we come back, we look at a brand new challenge the UNI Athletic Department has put out to its entire staff and student athletes to enhance the conversations being held.